Perfect, perfect, perfect. Love to hear that. Well, yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Fireside Chat. We're so excited to have you join us for this important discussion on embedding career readiness into the classroom, a topic that is shaping the future of higher education and student success. My name is Leander Howard II, and I'll be your host for today's conversation. Whether you're a faculty member, career services professional, employer, or university administrator, today's session will give you valuable insights into how institutions can go beyond traditional career services and make career readiness an integrated, essential part of education. Here's how today's session will go. We're going to dive deep into GSU's approach, so Georgia State University's approach, how they built this model, how they got faculty on board, and what results they're seeing so far. We'll also talk about challenges and lessons learned so that institutions looking to do the same can avoid common pitfalls. Throughout the session, we'll be asking you to participate as well. We'll have some live poll questions to get a sense of where your institutions stand, and we encourage you to drop your thoughts in the chat and questions in the Q&A box for La'Kesha at the end. So introducing La'Kesha. La'Kesha is a dedicated leader in career services and talent development with over a decade of experience in higher education and workforce alignment. She is the Associate Director of Undergraduate Career Advancement at Georgia State University, J. Mac Robinson College of Business, where I actually attended. She also played a pivotal role in shaping career readiness programs that bridge the gap between education and employment. Throughout her tenure, La'Kesha has counseled and coached thousands of students, helping them secure internships and full-time roles across various industries. She's also spearheaded employer engagement initiatives, fostering strong partnerships that enhance career placement opportunities. Her expertise in career coaching, program development, and talent acquisition has driven measurable student outcomes, ensuring graduates are well prepared for today's competitive job market. I am actually one of those students that she's helped. A graduate of the University of Georgia and South Carolina State, La'Kesha is passionate about equipping students with the skills and confidence to navigate their professional journeys successfully. And then myself, I'm Leander Howard II, the career services industry expert, marketing strategist, and entrepreneur on a mission to revolutionize how job seekers land opportunities and how organizations enhance career services at scale. As the co-founder and chief marketing officer here at WriteSea, I lead the charge in integrating AI-powered career mobility solutions to help job boards, universities, and companies improve career outcomes and create structured hiring pathways. My journey in career services started in 2020 when I founded my first business called Spark Your Resume, a career coaching firm that helped over 1,000 job seekers secure roles at top companies like Amazon, Deloitte, and Google. Through hands-on experience in resume optimization, LinkedIn branding, interview coaching, and salary negotiation, I built a reputation as a trusted advisor for job seekers across industries. I've also had the privilege of being featured on Afrotech, 85 South Show, Tech is the New Black, and Rolling Out, sharing insights on career development, entrepreneurship, marketing strategies. Before stepping into career services, I played Division I football at Georgia State University, where I earned 2 bachelors in marketing and finance. My competitive drive and passion for career development, job market innovation, and AI-driven hiring solutions fuel everything I do. Now, before we start the fireside chat, we'd like to get to know each other a little bit. So I'm going to pull up our poll for today. Let me see here. There we go. So you should see the poll on your screen. If you can, drop a yes in the chat. Perfect. The first question is just, who's in the room? Are you faculty, career services professional, employer, industry partner, university administrator, or other? You can drop in the chat for me, please. And if everybody could participate, I would greatly appreciate it. The second question is, how does your institution currently incorporate career readiness into the student experience? We offer career services, but it's optional for students. Some faculty integrate career development into courses, but it's not standardized. We have dedicated career readiness courses like GSU's BCOM 3950 class. We're exploring ways to embed career readiness into the curriculum, or it's not really a current priority at your institution at this very moment. Next question is, what is the biggest challenge your institution faces when trying to embed career readiness into the classroom? Getting faculty buy-in, so getting professors to see career readiness as part of their role, student engagement, encouraging students to take career development seriously, employer partnerships, connecting students with real-world opportunities, curriculum development, structuring an effective career readiness course, or funding and resources, so lack of budgets and staff to expand career services. And when do you think students should be required to engage in career readiness programming? Is it their freshman year? Career development should start from day one, sophomore, junior year, once they declare a major. It makes more sense. Senior year, right before graduation, when it really matters, or career services should remain optional for students. And then how well do you think your institution is preparing students for the workforce currently? Excellent. We have a structured, embedded approach that's working. Good, we're making progress, but there's room for improvement. Average, we offer some career services, but they could be better integrated. Need some work. Career readiness is offered, but few students engage. Or poor, we don't have a structured approach to career development at all. And then, what's your institution's biggest career readiness priority in the next 12 months? Developing a career readiness course like GSU's BCOM 3950, strengthening faculty partnerships to embed career development into courses, expanding employer engagement and internship opportunities, improving how we measure career readiness outcomes, or not sure, we need to figure out where to start. And then last but not least, but I see some people already left it in the chat. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? My personal favorite is chocolate chip cookie dough. If you're on the NACE call, I know you probably remember that. I just love chocolate chip cookie dough. My dad is a butter pecan fan. But love to hear you guys' comments about what's your favorite ice cream flavor in the chat. Maybe I'll send you some ice cream. Okay, Joe, we got a chocolate chip cookie fan, chocolate chip cookie dough fan. I like that. Mint chocolate chip. I think I saw, yeah, Moose Tracks is interesting. I like that. Turkey Hill Tin Roof Sundae. I've actually never heard of that. Is that a place or is that a type of ice cream? Turkey Hill Tin Roof Sundae. That's interesting. The type of ice cream. Okay. I have to check it out. I've actually never heard of that. Cool. All right. Now we're going to get into the fireside chat. I am going to stop sharing my screen and bring La'Kesha to the forefront. Is everybody done answering the questions for the poll? Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, cookies and cream. Mm.
And see some results there. Got a variety of people on the call.
Yeah,
Nice. Like to see that.
very nice. Very nice.
All righty. Thank you, La'Kesha, for joining once again. Really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. Always good to have my mom on my second mom on the call. Look, I talk to La'Kesha guys, like, I mean, probably at least twice a month. I call her for everything I need. When I was in college, she was the go-to resource for me. We probably spent countless hours together in J. Mac Robinson College of Business office. I was pretty much a student assistant without having the title.
Yes.
Yeah, La'Kesha is awesome. So the first question is, La'Kesha, can you just share a little more about your background? I know I gave like a brief introduction, but your role at Georgia State and then how long you've been working in career services.
So hi everybody. Thank you so much for taking time to chat with me. and Leander today. That's my boy. Like, we go way back. I'm so happy to see where he is right now. And it was a nice little journey. So I'm so proud of him.
But
But my role at Georgia State has been a tremendous one. I actually came to Georgia State from the human resources field at first. I spent 10 years in human resources, corporate recruiter, HR manager, and then went ahead and moved on and wanted to do something that was more impactful. I really wanted to see how I could make a difference within somebody's university to prepare individuals for the workforce. And I had no idea how to do it. And then I, of course, was at all these career fairs, and it was like, oh, yeah, you could probably work at somebody's career center, and that would be perfect. Um, I remember not even knowing how to get here, not even knowing how to make that transition, and having a really good friend, networking, of course, with a really good friend who actually got an opportunity to be a graduate coach at Georgia State. And I told my mom, I was like, listen, mom, when Tiff gets this job, it doesn't matter when it happens, I'm gonna be in there. Literally about a year later, I was there. I actually recruited for all roles that are business roles here at Robinson, and they thought that I was one of the best fits to be a career counselor here. Through my trajectory here, all I have done is foster the community, which has allowed students to thrive. And so that's what I truly believe in, is that you have to kind of give them the opportunity to kind of see what's out there, even though they may be scared of it, terrified of it. Make that safe place for them. Leander knows that we have an awesome career center that was donated to us, and it is a safe haven, a place where our students do definitely thrive. But it's a gentle place where they're allowed to make mistakes. And so through that trajectory, I have fostered many different networking sessions, meeting with employers. Um, for our students in a gentle light, but also bringing them to the forefront of learning how to make those mistakes, learning from them, and where to go from that. But also embodying it in several different classes now, Leander. I didn't get a chance to tell you that. But embodying career readiness in several different phases, not just starting with them as juniors, but really looking at starting them as freshmen. So by doing that, now we're here. I've been promoted to the associate director of career services, being able to manage every process that we do from start to finish, which looks entirely crazy. So, so from career fairs to students to employers, really being able to not only having a seat at the table, but making seat at the tables for others to really want to join the table and make a difference, whether it's employees, faculty members. I always say that our department is to bridge the gap. And so I pride ourselves in making sure that we can do that. And that is what I currently do.
no, thank you for that explanation. And congrats on the promotion. Love the career path. Joel, appreciate that comment. La'Kesha is probably the most well-rounded individual I've ever met. Honestly, she does everything. Like, it's nothing she cannot do. But my next question is: we hear career readiness.
Mhm.
Career readiness is a term we hear a lot, right? So, like, what does it mean what does career readiness mean to you?
Ooh, career readiness is giving the opportunity to develop, prepare, um, and plan a career future that you don't see fit for yourself. My motto, we dream big, we go hard, we do it scared. And so I believe setting that as career readiness is preparing those for that. And people don't know. People come in all the time. Students come in all the time, and I want to be great. Well, let's figure out how to do that. And so
Right.
career readiness is that. It's figuring out how to be great in your way, not anybody else's.
I agree. I agree. Like I said, Lakeisha has helped me. When I first came to Georgia State, I was a marketing major
Or
only. And she's was most definitely a pivotal person in my life to make me choosing a double major by dreaming big. Like, I never thought about getting 2 degrees until being around J. Mac Robinson College of Business, being around Lakeisha. She pointed me in the right direction, letting me explore different opportunities, putting things in my in my inbox, like events in my inbox that I probably would have never attended. But she seen how dedicated I was as a student, being involved on campus, getting internships, and was like, "Yo, this guy's he's ambitious. Let's see if he can do more." and make him a great student. So I really appreciate that. My next question is, why do you think career readiness needs to be embedded in the classroom instead of just as an optional resource?
This is for all my career services people and staff and faculty because they don't like to listen to us. We have to make it mandatory, unfortunately. But by making it mandatory, and we like to put mandatory in quotes,
Right.
extra credit, embodying it into the classrooms, they don't actually understand how much they need it until it's in a sense like nudged on them, forced on them a little bit. Those things are so important. So we have to kind of do it in that sense and embed it into those classes because they don't understand what they don't know yet. They don't understand they need it. And once they do, I've received a lot of comments from teaching our BCOM 3950 course saying, I didn't even think I was going to really need this, and showing that, they really do. They were like, I appreciate it. This is great information.
So pretty much you're saying students don't know what they don't know.
Mm-mm. No.
And when you say they, you're referring to students, correct?
Definitely
Okay.
referring to students. The students are the they. The
Okay.
students tend to run away from it,
Mm.
think they have time. I don't know how many students who would be like, "Don't worry, Miss Keisha, I have time. I have time." And I'm like,
Right.
"No, you don't. You have to go.
No, those 4 years go by fast. 4 or 5 years
You
go by fast.
gotta graduate." And so,
They do.
a lot of students feel they have that time, and so just showing them that they don't really. It goes
No,
by.
I agree. When question, I think I might have forgot when I took BCom. When was BCom required for? Is it sophomore year
So it's
or
not. It's actually required for your junior and senior year,
okay?
which is kind of crazy to say.
Mm,
But we have also embedded pieces of that within our freshman course. We also have a sophomore course now, and now, so it actually trickles down. So we have a line of courses that we have embedded career services and career readiness within to go ahead and make sure we prepare them little by little. Like, so what we
right.
realize is that breadcrumb method is really prosperous for us to get us the results that we need.
When you say you're integrating it now from a like you said, you started at a freshman level, like it might be less than a BCom course. Can you kind of dive more deep into what you mean? Like,
So
how are you integrating at a freshman level at Georgia
So at
State?
a freshman level, we are giving them the opportunities to where before, we are decentralized. So all my career services people know what that means, but decentralized career center, meaning that Robinson has their very own career center for their business school. And we also have a university career center. Because
Right,
we are decentralized and we only focus on the business students, we're
right,
able to work with university career services and embody it within our freshman 1010 courses that allows students to get that little snippet of it
yeah,
early, you know.
mm,
So like we might only focus on resumes, in the freshman 1010 class and introducing them to LinkedIn and showing them when to go to career fairs, but it's nothing that's super, solid. And then, sophomore year we get into the strong aspects of it as a whole for our sophomore course that we have now too.
nice. Okay, so you're embedding it in the freshman and sophomore courses that are required for students to take. But it might not be the entire aspect of career readiness. It's like bits and pieces of it at a time just to get them warmed up. Hey, we're introducing you
Absolutely.
to a resume on this course. Maybe next course, it might be LinkedIn. And then by the
Right.
time you get to BCom, you already have a resume on LinkedIn where now it's interview prep and networking and elevator pitch, things of that
Yes,
nature.
that's how we've evolved. And so like before, we were strictly focused in BCom, we were strictly focused on resumes and LinkedIn. Now we're more so
Okay.
focused on elevator pitch, mock
Okay.
interviews. So we want
Nice.
to be able to set that trajectory early. So therefore that you can, with that breadcrumb method, we're able to lead them. And so by their junior and senior year, there shouldn't be a question about what you can do or what you can't do. You've already built yourself up to being ready and being confident to go into those career fairs and those networking sessions to obtain those internships and job opportunities. Can't forget that.
Nice. Now this all sounds great in theory, right? Now if this didn't
Does.
exist at a university, right? So how, like you said, you have a decentralized career services center where JMAT Robinson College of Business has its own career services center apart from the university career center, which is a lot of schools these days that we've been talking to. It's like every engineering school has its own career center, business school has its own career center, and then every other major has the university's career center.
Yeah.
What's the communication like between J. Mac Robinson College's business career center versus the university's career center? How are you guys collaborating to embed that career readiness in those GSU 1010 courses?
Well, you're asking about 1010 courses, but I gotta go big. I like go big or go home. We don't
Okay,
not just worried about freshmen. We gonna
right?
dig. So collaboration is key for us. At Robinson, our motto is collaboration over competition. And
Petition. Yep.
so because that is one of our models, we actually spent this past summer building a career readiness boot camp for the football team in athletics. And so
Where was this at when I was there?
don't start with me.
That's crazy.
I gotta prepare the future. You good. You
You're
good.
right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
But we collaborated with University Career Services, and we actually put on a 6-week boot camp for the
What?
football team. And,
Okay. Okay.
and at the end of the 6-week boot camp, after we taught them different things from resumes, elevator pitch, what they're looking for in their major, we actually had an opportunity to do a networking session for them at the end with employers. We had a
Wow.
panel with former football players that really focused on what they were doing after football. So we really had a life after football conversation. And then we had a
Important.
networking session for them to apply everything that we learned. So it is really important for us to understand the importance of collaborating with University Career Services and how we can bridge those gaps. So, athletics needs love. I ran track in college. I know so many people have played different type of sports. I
Sports.
have two
Yep.
sons right now playing basketball in college. So it's so important to make sure that
Yep.
we can cover all grounds. And, I'm always trying to cover every single ground at Georgia State. So that was one of our new initiatives that we did for collaboration. So can't just
Nice.
start at freshman 1010. We got to go further.
Nice. Who are the key players when it comes to embedding career readiness inside of the classroom? Is it career services that is like, hey, we know this is important. Let's take this to a faculty advisor. They have to review your plan, and then it gets embedded in the classroom. Can you kind of walk me through that process of how GSU is going about it?
So it definitely started before my time.
Okay.
According to my associate dean, it was not the easiest thing, and it was a lot of pushback originally at first,
Okay.
because as all career services family know, I like to call it a career services family. It is always a struggle because it's very hard for a lot of faculty and staff to find value in what we do. But also, people feel that what we do is easy. And so
Mm,
what they have to understand is that it's really not as easy as it looks. But when it comes to that collaboration piece, we're more so able to help them understand by focusing on maybe if it's an accounting major, how can we embed career services and just focus on that piece? Or if it's our computer information systems, what does that look like? So currently, what we've been doing is collaborating with the departments to try to figure out what they need and what they want
mm,
from career services to begin those conversations because it's different for everybody. When you come to Robinson, we're very, very efficient in what we do. So nobody's resume template looks the same. Everything
right.
looks different. So those key stakeholders are individuals and faculty members from departments that really want to focus on making sure that students are getting experiential learning as well as that career readiness piece. But how can we bridge those gaps? And then we also work with the graduate school as well.
Okay. Um, when you mention these key decision makers and they all want different things, what are some of the things that they are looking for from career services to be like, yes, we want to embed you guys in the classroom? Like, what's
They
making them say yes to
they want somebody that can speak the language.
mm,
And And it can be very difficult if you can't. Like, I just remember being for example, being a recruiter and
Right.
recruiting for IT positions and having to sit in those meetings with, IT hiring managers and going like, I don't know nothing about nothing. Like, how do you want me to sell this to people? So being open to understanding, the language that they're speaking, we have risk management insurance, really being able to embody what they're looking for and looking at risk management insurance not from just the car perspective and insuring cars, but looking at that
Right.
Mercedes-Benz perspective and insuring buildings and chairs and,
Mm,
parts of the city. And so those things is learning to embed those. But the biggest thing is including alumni. I all my success is from alumni and including alumni to come back and tell their story and their journey. So that helps as
okay.
well.
So, no, no, I think alumni coming back and telling their stories. I've done that a few times for Georgia State as well, and I think it's very impactful to have somebody that's graduated, that's walked your shoes, right, come back now that's doing great things in whether it's corporate, being a founder, startup founder, whatever the case may be, whatever the profession is now, coming back and sharing their experience on how they transition from Georgia State into the workforce to make it relatable to the people that's walking their shoes currently.
Right.
Um, Question for you though is
Mhm.
now that these career readiness courses are embedded in the classroom, you've gotten
Mhm.
the faculty buy-in. Who's responsible for teaching these courses?
Oh, well, so for us at Robinson, it's definitely my team actually teaches the BCOM 3950 course. So it
Okay,
used to be called BCOM 3950 Lab, but now we're
right.
called, the Career Services Professional Development Experience. Okay.
Experience, right.
And the reason why we want it to be an experience is because we really focus on experiential learning. So my
Yes,
part of the course, you'll get to see me, I'll be able to speak to you, but the majority of my course, your assignments are really focused on our students getting out there, going to career fairs. Like, you get graded on going to a career fair and going to a networking session,
right.
or going to your favorite thing, a student org networking session, because the Career Center really, really supports the student orgs that the
Yes.
students manage, and you guys are presidents of those. So it was very important for us to incorporate that as well, because guess what? A lot of students don't know about certain student orgs. So that allows them to go try different student organizations and go hang out and learn about it. But in a like I said, a softer setting, because I always say the students that graduated in 2020 are nothing like the students now. So
Yeah, true.
we have to learn how to adjust and flip. And so by
Mm.
doing that, with our course, we're making sure that, there not only are you learning it in the class with your personal professor, but then your second half, the lab with me, you're applying it. So it's very much so about applying it.
Okay. So career associate directors of career services or career counselors are the ones that's
Yes.
teaching the career readiness courses.
Yes,
That
or
makes sense.
we do have some faculty members.
Okay.
For 1010, it's all majors.
Okay.
For BCOM 3950, they're actually all coming out of the marketing department, believe it or not.
Mm,
We
nice.
actually worked
That
with
makes
other.
sense though.
Yeah, it makes
That
sense
makes sense. Yeah.
because it's business communications, right?
It's marketing,
And
resume,
it's
LinkedIn, elevator pitch,
personal
communication,
branding.
branding.
So
Yeah. All of
So
that's
it
marketing.
definitely comes out of there. But we have visited and done some benchmarking with other universities, and they actually use the management department that focuses
Mm,
on more human resources. If they have a stronger human resources department, they use their human resources department to do so as well. So we use currently our marketing department and as well as career services.
nice. And I meant to ask you this question before.
Mhm.
We spoke about when I asked you about what are faculty looking for from career services, you said speaking their language. So are you
Yes.
saying that career services maybe needs upskilling or maybe needs to better understand majors and like the business acumen of like what professors are teaching to correlate that to students when it comes to transition them into workforce like internships and full-time opportunities?
I think the conversation has to be had. I feel like we can gain those conversations when speaking with employers as well, but to really know what direction a department is going in, we got to speak to them.
Right.
And sometimes I'm not even going to lie to you. And I mean, my career services family know that can be extremely difficult because sometimes they don't want to have those conversations.
Right.
They truly believe that they can do it better and that we are not the resident experts. And sometimes you have to let
Mm,
them have it, you know?
mm.
But then at certain points you realize that they'll go, "Oh, but I saw the hospitality do this. Can y'all do that for me too?" So,
Right.
so you just really have to be mindful that you have to go in there thick skin, very confident in what you're trying to accomplish, and really speak on being a collaborative effort. You know, wanting to join forces for a greater cause. Put your Avenger hat on and handle it from there. But it, like I said, it can be difficult. I've had some departments like tell me no, believe it or
Like,
not.
so you're saying you would go to, let's say, accounting, for example,
Hmm.
like accounting departments and say, hey, we want to embed career readiness inside of these accounting courses,
Hmm.
or have like advertise
So
career services inside your classroom, and they're like,
So
no.
Robinson is very proactive. So the
Very,
fun part
very,
is that
very, very.
they proactive. Everybody want to get on, okay? So like there's been current instances where we haven't had to do that because they're like,
Right.
"Hey, we just want to build this. And y'all can be a part or y'all don't have to because we understand it could be a heavy lift. But we just want to know
Mm.
what pieces can we use from career services to incorporate within our program, our
Program.
course." And so they're very proactive on their own. We don't have to
Okay.
do a lot of pushing or a lot of asking. And then when we do ask, sometimes they say yes and sometimes they say no. So it's
Right.
really building an environment as a university, as a campus, as a college to be collaborative. Sometimes we get it and sometimes we don't. So,
Right. And I
but
think it
yeah,
all
the
just comes
department
down.
chairs for sure are who we talking to.
Right. And I appreciate that. And I think it all just comes down to everybody being aligned on, we're all in this to help students to like achieve, right? At the end of the day,
Yes.
professors, career services, deans, presidents. At the end of the
Yes, the
day,
president.
the product is the student, right?
Yes.
And we are the tools and resources to develop that product, to enter the workforce, to make them successful. So whatever we need to do together to make that student successful, we need to do that. But no, thank you for that. So I do want to talk a little bit more about BCOM 3950, because
Okay.
that's the career readiness program that I'm aware of and that I've actually taken. How does BCOM 3950 truly prepare students for the workforce? Like, what skills, experiences, or confidence levels do they leave with that they might not leave with otherwise?
Honestly believe that at the end of the day, uh, they receive transparency.
Mm.
I think that's one thing that I have taught my career counselors to do that I am. It is not a sugarcoating course, and you know that. You know I don't play that.
It's
Um,
not.
like, please don't come and ask me no crazy question because I'm gonna give you a crazy answer back. Like, to be honest, it's the realization that, oh, there is a certain way things have to be done before I can own that company, before I can manage this process. And there's some long roads that it might have to take me to get there. There's always the one question of when did you find out that this was your passion, that this was your job? Having those conversations within the course is something that we do. I'm very conversational. I'm very transparent. I love to ask, one of my segments is tell me about a crazy interview question that you had. Um, and letting them have those discussions in class. And I think sometimes that's what it takes. It takes that to go, oh, my classmate did it that way and I can do it this way. Our new discussion conversations are how students are currently being interviewed and having to record themselves and send that information in for their interview process. And how does that make them feel?
Yeah, right.
Okay. And how can they react to those things? But teaching them also that this is the best way to build your confidence. You got to practice, and we have ways for you to do that. We have resources for you to do that. And so we want to make sure that while they're explaining how things are making them feel and focusing on emotional intelligence and personal branding, still focusing and putting that focus back on the career center and saying, hey, This is your safe haven. Come here, learn, be comfortable to make those mistakes. So that's where the confidence is gained.
And then what does the course consist of? Like, what's required of students throughout the course?
Throughout the course. So now, like I said, throughout the course, they're required to attend one career fair,
Okay.
virtual or in person, because we do virtual
Okay.
career fairs now. We
Right.
had to pivot because of the pandemic.
Right.
So
COVID. Yep.
definitely an in-person or virtual career fair, an in-person or virtual event. And now this event can be a student or a grant event with an employer, or an employer event ran by the University Career Services or Robinson's Career Service Center. So they have to attend one of those, and then they also have to do a mock interview, as
Okay.
well as they have to update their LinkedIn profile. And so they're basically showing progress of how they've made those connections and really everything that they're learning and applying as far as marketing and business communications in their course. Like I said, my part is that experiential learning part of it.
And I think when I was in there, I was required. I think it might have been 500 connections on LinkedIn. Was it?
We didn't make y'all do that. No, you didn't
Oh,
have
okay. So it
connections.
wasn't a
That's a lot.
requirement on how many people to reach out to, and maybe like it wasn't a requirement for that.
That might have been towards freshman 1010 or your
Okay.
sophomore class. They want to make sure that you guys can do informational interviews and make those connections. There you go. It was
I think
informational.
that's what it was. Yeah. Informational
Yeah. We
interviews.
start you early on that so you can kind of get your jitters out. That's why.
Yes. Connecting with the people that
Do what
were
you want
doing
to
the
do.
things that doing the things I wanted to do. Right. And had those like 30-minute coffee chats and reaching
Yes.
out to
Which you
them
got
on
really good
email.
at, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's how I book meetings now. Coffee chats taught me how to book meetings with strangers. But no, that's great. I know we had an attendee ask more about like what the BCOM course and
Mhm.
curriculum was consist of. So I hope that helped.
Yeah.
And then we also have a question. One person wants to know, what does GSU do for like? Do you know anything about the English side of the English side of the university, or like anthropology or physics majors? I know that's probably under the University Career Center.
That's usually under the University Career Center. I'm not quite sure how they embed
Okay,
that into theirs. I know that it is a significantly apart for freshman 1010. Everybody's is done a little bit differently.
different. Yeah.
But I do know everybody starts in freshman 1010 though. Yeah. So sorry. I only work with the business students. I'm in a
Oh,
silo.
yeah. She is in the she's in the business student
I'm in a
department.
silo.
My one. I think I might have one or two more questions.
Okay.
If another career service department wanted to implement a course like BCOM 3950, what are some of the common mistakes they should avoid? Like things that you've learned by operating a course like this, engaging with students. What are some common mistakes that if you had to do it again, you would avoid?
Don't go into it not making it mandatory.
Mm,
I mean, I don't care if it's homework or discussion question. You have to put value on it. My course is 10% of their grade. So if they have a B, it will make it an A. If they have a C, it'll make it a B. All you have to do is attend. But also make it as easy as possible for you, because I address 900 students a semester now, Leander,
mm.
for this course. And so while they're in several different classes with several different professors, I have all of them. I have all 900 of them along with my career counselors. So make it as easy as it can be for you as your bandwidth is for your career center, but make it to where it is valuable and make sure they're learning something. Like, sorry, it is a completion. Yes, it is a completion grade. You need to attend. And if you don't, mine's is worth 150 points, which is 10% of their grade. And if they don't attend, trust me, y'all, when the deadline pops up, because I actually give them the whole entire semester to complete all of the assignments, it is so important. They said, how many people are in our career center? Do they really want to know?
Yeah, how many people?
So there is my senior director, myself, 2 career counselors, an employee relations specialist, and then an employee relations specialist that focuses on fintech. So there's only
So
6 of us.
6.
But I have 9 student assistants. Okay. So I have developed when Leander was here for that, but I've developed an army. So we don't do it by ourselves. They help us put on our events, our career fairs, any employer events they're a part of. There are walking billboards. There are walking just signs of success. So they're the people who celebrate us while we're here and tell some more students to come and hang out. So that's a whole nother story for another day. But yes, we
I
have
think
7 student assistants. And work study works, you guys. Use work study students, okay? So if you don't have the budget, use work study students. So yeah, that's how I got all those students.
can we Rebecca Brown?
She was one of my student assistants. So yes,
Oh, okay.
yes, she
Nice.
was. That's so sweet.
Nice. Yeah, I want to kind of tap now that you brought it up before my last question.
Okay.
How are you recruiting student assistants?
How am I
Like how
recruiting
do
student assistants?
yeah,
Now listen, I've always had some top tier students, and I always say CAC
true,
friends, okay?
true.
Because Leander was technically a CAC friend. Like Leander didn't get paid, but Leander did all of the work. Like Leander was reviewing resumes,
I
telling people
was.
about mock interviews, and signing people into events. And he made me feel bad now because I'm like, dang, I probably should have put you on the payroll. A lot of work. But how we actually recruit them is that my student assistants actually came up with the idea of having, we call our student assistants at the Career Center our peer career advisors. So,
Yes.
so our peer career advisors actually came up with the idea of having a mixer. So what's not better than teaching them how to network within a space with their peers in order to be in a space where you have to learn it. So we actually do our recruiting that way. We post it on Handshake. And then we actually have a mixer so that they can come in and network with everybody in the office who is faculty and staff, as well as the current peer career advisors. So we really make it
Nice.
a whole thing now.
Nice. And my last question, and I think we might have a few questions in the chat or
Okay.
Q&A. How do you see career readiness evolving in higher education over the next 5 years? Like, what should universities be doing now to future-proof their students for success?
Involve the students. I can tell everyone I have not been successful in my role without me including my students in every aspect and everything that I do. It's great for me to say what they need and what they want, but I can't really say that, like, not at this point in my mid-40s. Like, I'm not allowed to tell the 20-year-olds
True,
olds what they want, you know? And at
true.
one point I really was, but I realized that that's not the case anymore. But I didn't feel that was the case then either. So I really take hone of involving students, making sure students have a voice,
Mm,
to really help promote what they're looking for within career services. Our center takes big pride in that. We do surveys every semester to really focus on what they're interested in having. Like, do you want a big career fair or do you want a little one? Like, because there was a time where we had to adjust because of the pandemic and students weren't in the center and students weren't in the building. And before the pandemic, it was a very happening place to be. Everybody was there, everybody was studying, and we just now are back at that Leander spot where, y'all were all here and the whole front of my center is
right, right,
busy
right.
and crazy. I'm back at that again. But
That's
it was
good.
hurtful for it to not to see that, not to see any students
Yeah,
and having to adjust from them going to school and going straight home. So really making sure that they're have a voice and a part of that, and they will take surveys and saying what they need because they went from wanting to be in large crowds to want to be in small intimate settings. So to really be proactive with what students are looking for, because it does change over time, as you can see. Good.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's great. I think involving students is most definitely key. I feel like students are your customers in
Yes.
business. Like,
Yes.
talk to your customers. They're going to
Yes.
give you all the answers you need to build a successful program, but also have discernment on what not to listen to as well, right?
Oh, of course. You gotta understand, like, I understand, like, I love my business students, but sometimes, baby, they want to rule the world.
Right,
And so
right,
I have to
right.
tell them, like, so certain meetings you can't come to with me. Like, you don't get to come. I know you got
Right,
good insight, but you hang tight and I got it.
right, right,
So
right.
you're absolutely
I'll
right.
take it from here. I appreciate you, but I'll take it from here. No, this is great. We have one question from that I did not answer. Oh, maybe two. So, how did you get your institution and departments to
Mhm.
buy in into incorporating more career readiness?
They honestly wanted to do it on their own. There was a lot of them that just wanted to do it. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of them did it without us. Some of them
Mm,
incorporate, some of them worked with us, some of them didn't. Um, there's about two majors that have it embedded into their courses currently.
okay.
It's starting to like, well, right now CIS has their own version of it, and they've had it for about 2 years now. Our computer information systems department has. They didn't ask us for any help.
Mm,
They probably should have, but they didn't, and now they have. So they came back and circled back and was like, we gotta need your help a little bit. Where accounting said, hey, I want to start this. How do I do this with your help? So I think that there's different aspects where you have to just learn that how important career services is to the department and allow them to do because we don't have the bandwidth. Like I can only imagine how many people are in each and every one of your career centers. There's not a lot of us. And so sometimes we just got to let them have it. And when they ask for our help, give it to them. And if we have the bandwidth, yes. And if we don't, we wish them the best.
right.
We can't do it all.
Now, I guess so. I'm gonna flip the question in. So I'm not. Let's say you're not at Robinson and you are this person, right? That needs to get buy-in to incorporate career readiness. How would you go about getting buy-in from people that you need help from to get career readiness embedded into the classroom?
You really need to focus on the professors that are interested in it, who want
Mm,
people to come into their classrooms and speak. Those are the people to get the buy-in first. What I realized is that in order to be successful, you have to love on faculty. And as soon as the faculty members see that you have some type of value, they're so for you. But they have to understand and know your value. And you can't expect them to be like, yeah, well, okay. Like, no, it's a completely different mindset for them, and understanding and establishing that is key. You
mm,
have to be okay with understanding that you're going it's like work. It's like my whole talent acquisition work. You're going to get a lot of no's. But there
right,
is
right.
yeses out there. So really meet with those faculty members and collaborate with those faculty members who want you as a career services center in their classrooms and speaking in
Mm.
their classrooms. I think I spoke in two management classes in the past 2 weeks. So those are the people you want to be able to go to gravitate for you because those are going to be your advocates for you and what you're doing within your centers.
I like that. I like that a lot actually. So yeah, a lot of no's, but there are a few yeses, and you only need one yes to get things started.
It,
That goes for everything in life, honestly. I've been told no a lot, but I keep pushing, So that's the way to live. Next question is, what advice can you provide people who are officers of one for career services operations to
Mhm.
approach advocating to faculty and deans on the importance of career readiness integrated into the fabric of the school? Great question, by the way.
That is a wonderful question. I would start at your local, ours is called GACE, so your local associations for colleges and employers.
Hmm.
You need love and you need support and find that support there first. So they can help and teach you how to navigate within your state, within that college and employer setting. So that way you can find some support because it's gonna take one step at a time. You might have to
Right.
only work on one department and maybe in 6 months another. But really take that opportunity to get that support because you need it. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that you got to take those no's, but those no's hurt. So, you know,
Do.
find your support center where they can, bandage up those wounds and get you out of there because it's nothing more than being successful because you are definitely supporting and making people thrive from your wounds, from your scars, not your wounds. You want to make sure that, you all healed up, you patched up, you ready to go, and you can go take over the world. You just got to go try another department.
I would also add, I try when I approach different situations about like trying to partnering with people and trying to get people to do things I want them to do, I have to put myself in their shoes. Like, what would they care about, right? So if I'm approaching a dean, I need to understand what is the dean's North Star, right?
Right.
So they might be responsible for career outcomes. Then you might have to really remind them of that because they're also responsible for a lot of other things as well, right? So
Yes, very much
just
so.
just make I think you got to meet people where they are, and remind them why what you do is important
Yeah,
and why they need to get behind the program to help you be successful, which is going to help them be successful. Uh,
absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
yeah,
Something I wanted to mention that I did forget to say, don't
yep,
forget in our BCOM course, we always had an employer for our in-person sessions. So like, don't do it
yes,
alone. I know people are talking about you might have a one-band show. Don't do it alone ever. Find those employer partners that want to come and help you talk about professional development. And you have so many that want to come and talk with you. Have them help you do that. And we do that literally with everything that we do. So yeah, one of my main things.
nice.
Mhm.
No, thank you, La'Kesha, for this great insight on how to embed GSU into the classroom. I think this is an awesome first fireside chat for WriteSea. Wouldn't have any other guest on to start this webinar series. Um, and just to remind you guys, WriteSea is an AI career services suite. We are looking to partner with institutions like yourself to streamline career services across the campuses, with AI resume reviews, resume enhancements, LinkedIn profile development, mock interviews, salary negotiation, tracking contacts, tracking jobs for students, a one-stop shop for your all-in-one career services suite. We'd love to talk to you guys one-on-one to discuss your needs, and just strategize on how you're approaching 2025 when it comes to growing career services and as a whole. So you can scan this QR code or go to writesea.com to schedule a strategy call with myself, my co-founder Brandon or Jared. And then last month, let me go back if anybody wanted to. Um, Hang on, I know how to go back. Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. So yeah, this is the QR code here. Um, if you wanted to scan that, and I can drop the link to the chat for WriteSea website in the chat. Or Zaki, if you can do that for me, that'd be great. And then last month we did a NACE webinar, which some of you guys have also attended. We just created a landing page, which I'll also drop in or a blog recap for NACE that you can check out for the NACE webinar. If you missed that, would highly recommend watching this. It was a really phenomenal webinar about career readiness and, well, creating career ready graduates and embedding career readiness into academic programs. Really good insight, a lot of data driven insight from institutions that's already doing it. Highly recommend checking that out. You can request a demo or a strategy call here, and then connect with La'Kesha on LinkedIn as well. I'm pretty sure she's happy to chat with you offline about the strategies that GSU is doing. If you have any additional questions, I dropped her LinkedIn in the chat. If you want to connect with her, and if we haven't connected on LinkedIn as well, please shoot me a connection request. I post content on a weekly basis about different takes in higher ed, just trying to build a community here of leaders in the industry, raw, unfiltered content, and have these tough conversations, which I just don't see a lot of in the higher ed industry. And I'm a very direct person. So I'm going to say what I need to say, um, and try to get my point across and just try to make people think differently about the things they're doing, because times are evolving. Like career services is not the same pre-COVID that it is now post-COVID, right? So we have to go through these different iterations of life and engaging our students and building career services and higher education. So we'll be doing these once a month. And I'm also thinking about doing like a weekly office hour. So be on the lookout for an email from me talking about that, where we can just come on, have a powwow, just open forum, connect with other industry leaders, talk about challenges, talk about problems. And I'm just going to be the facilitator and let you guys have at it. Turn your cameras on, meet people that you haven't met. Like that's the type of culture I'm trying to build here with the higher education industry at WriteSea, to where we can have a safe space to come in, share ideas, and actually execute to build programs that's going to help students. Because I was once a student 5 years ago, and I wouldn't be here today without La'Kesha. I promise you, I wouldn't, in Georgia State University. They literally molded me into the person I am today, and I would do anything Georgia State asked me to do whenever they call, and that's a fact. Because they really they really molded me to the man I am today, to the professional I am today, to the entrepreneur, the founder. Like I owe a lot of my success to Georgia State University, the people I've met, the programs I went through, the internship experience I've had, the organizational experience I've had. Like I can tell y'all wholeheartedly that I learned how to run a business by being the president of Alpha Kappa Psi Professional Business Fraternity
Yes.
from 2019 to 2020. And that was free experience. Like it wasn't my money I was losing if I messed up. You know, it was the organization's money. You know what I'm saying? Like I had that safe space to mess up without suffering from like repercussions of my bank account. You know, like I had that experience. Even at Wells Fargo and Arthur Blanks Foundation, like Georgia State set me up for that and gave me the confidence to put myself out there.
We did. We tried.
To get those internships. And we were a non-targeted university. For some of us, like Adobe did not come recruit at Georgia State, unfortunately. But I got a job at Adobe because La'Kesha and her team poured it into me to go apply for opportunities that weren't necessarily coming to my university. Not saying they couldn't do that. It just didn't happen while I was there. Right. So yeah, I owe a lot to Georgia State. And this is my personal email, cell number. If you have any questions, feel free to text, call, shoot me an email, connect with WriteSea on LinkedIn. I think we're most definitely building one of the best platforms. And we're early on, but we beating out competition, doing trials, and it's exciting times for 2025. That's all I gotta say. We partnered with a few universities already, but I think this year, man, we're gonna make a lot of headway, and we'd love for you guys to be a part of that journey. I know Marielle had a question. I'm gonna have her come up and speak. Marielle was actually there at Georgia State when I was there. She was also a pivotal person in my career success as well. Marielle, are you there? You can come off mute if you want to.
Work bestie.
I'm here. That was such an incredible conversation. And Leander, to see how far you've come, like, whoa, like you truly are one of the success stories when I think about the power of career services and when students engage. Like,
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So Keisha, great advice.
Work bestie.
Yes. Love you, friend.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate you joining too. We need to catch up. We need to meet on a separate note.
I'm gonna respond. I promise. I'm gonna respond to your message. I'm behind and that stuff, so I'm gonna respond.
No, all good. We're good. I appreciate you. But no, I don't think we have any other questions. And if we didn't answer your questions, reach out to La'Kesha personally on her LinkedIn. She'll most definitely be happy to answer. But thank you all for joining. And I hope to see you on next month's webinar. Talk soon. Thank everybody. Bye.